Well, thank you so much, Joanna, for joining us. So Joanna is the founder of Copy Hackers and a world-renowned copywriter. You might have seen, I think I've discovered your stuff through your ebooks that are very well known in the sort of online entrepreneurship community. Cool. And you speak on the topic around the world at different conferences, and you're a real expert at this, and you've been generous enough to give up your time to help people with their sites on this challenge. So thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I've been following a bit the 7-day startup challenge, reading on the Facebook page about how everybody's like getting stuff done. So it's cool to be part of it. Thanks.
Cool. Okay, so with the guys in the on the call, first of all, can you please share this? If you can share it on Twitter or Facebook, that would be excellent. And if you want to get your site reviewed, the easiest way to do that is to do /Q and then put your URL, because then that will come up as an actual question for me and I can just click it and then it'll be visible on the screen for both Joanna and I to see. So that's probably the best way to do it. And a few people have done that already, so I'll start bringing them up. And if you guys want to call in while we've got your site on the screen, that is going to be an excellent thing to do, because we're probably going to have some questions. So Paul, if you've got the TV situation under control, give us a call, and we'll start with yours, which is videoblogingsuccess.com.
We're just going to dive on in, hey?
Oh, yeah. Well, we've only got an hour.
All right. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm awesome, thank you.
Good. We're looking at videoblogingsuccess.com. Is that right?
Yeah, cool. Yep, so this is a brand new site I've just sort of thrown together over the last couple of days as part of the challenge. This is something that's been in my head for a few months, as Dan knows, so I decided to use the challenge to actually get it done.
Cool. That's wicked. I just want to confirm that we're not seeing it on the screen, Dan, and that's cool, or are we going to see that page?
No, we're not. I don't think Blab lets us do that, which sucks a little bit.
Okay.
But
that's cool.
Because most people are on their computers, you can just bring it up in a new tab and have a look if you want. Otherwise, we can just do our best to kind of give a bit of feedback.
Cool. All right, I've just opened it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've just created this?
Yeah.
Paul, you just created it?
Yep.
Okay.
Brand spanking.
Who is the audience? Who is this written for?
Coaches, trainers, speakers, anyone who wants to build their personal brand. Well, not anyone, I don't market to anyone, but people who want to use a video blog to build their personal brand without the headaches of editing and graphics and those sort of things.
Okay. And so how far along would they, in general, be in their career? Because that could be a really broad spectrum of people. Do you have you narrowed it down to that yet?
I haven't actually thought about it from that point of view. Okay. It could be anywhere, though. It could be someone, who's established, who's got a brand like you, who hasn't video blogged, who wants to do it, or it could be someone who's just purely starting out.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at it. I don't know, Dan, feel free to, if you have any thoughts yet, to chime in. I'm just reviewing it still.
Yeah, you have a look at it. I'll say a couple of things which are just stand out to me. So I might leave the copy stuff to you since you're a copy expert. Although the Imagine Video Blogging Without the Headaches, I think this copy is not too bad. I mean, it's kind of hard to write this stuff quickly. But I guess the reason Joanna's asking those questions is if you don't know who the service is targeted at, it's going to be infinitely more difficult to write appealing copy for them and really get down to what they, what their pain points are and how they, like what Kevin said on the call yesterday, how like making them feel like they can't live without this service, which for starters might be something they don't even know that they need. So I'm assuming that's why you're asking those questions, because that will influence the copy massively.
Yeah, and I don't consider myself a copywriter at all, so I've just put down what was in my head.
I think that's good, yeah, and I think most startup founders can write their own copy, so I don't think you have to consider yourself a copywriter to write great copy. But yeah, that's the question. Like, it does get infinitely easier to write copy when you really narrow down who it's for. Of course, it's tough, too, for a lot of people to do that, but like from a business perspective, it feels like you're blocking certain opportunities. But it makes it a lot easier to communicate your message to the absolute right prospect for you. So yeah, that's the idea. And now I guess I'm ready to kind of jump in with some initial thoughts. So we often, right, we talk about, when we're talking about copywriting, one of the most common things you'll hear is to join the conversation that's happening in your prospect's head, which of course takes really knowing your prospect to do it right, and not just to make assumptions based on like some stereotype that's living in your head, but something that's really quite real for the actual human beings that are considering choosing your service, which is a service. It's not SaaS, right? Like you do all the editing.
Correct.
Okay. I guess we don't know how do you imagine people will be, it's hard to say. I mean, it's a homepage, so they're probably going to get here from all sorts of different ways, but I don't know right away that it's a service. Now, I don't think that that's definitely going to be a problem at all, but it takes a while. So there are certain little things that we just have to get right off the bat, right? Like, who are you? What do you do? Is this where I expected to land? Is this right for me? Do they get me? Quick questions, seeing themselves on the page, seeing their problem solved on the page. And so right now when I read the headline, although the line is a nice line, imagine video blogging without the headaches, right? It's a nice sounding line. It doesn't sound like there's any real like problem with it. Okay. But there is that the conversation happening in their heads. And then when you say, well, they might be new to video blogging, then they haven't imagined video blogging at all, right? Like, and what stopped them from video blogging previously? Do they anticipate that there are already headaches? Is that the conversation happening in their head? And now if you're saying that this is kind of the thing that, and again, I would recommend that you talk to your prospects and your customers to learn more about them. But if that's what's going on in their head, then that does narrow your audience right away. If the people you're going to serve best, who will be happiest with you, who will pay you money, who will value what you do and refer you to other people because they love the pains that you solve for them, if that group does currently imagine video blogging as painful, and if they do see it as filled with headaches, then this is the message that's in their head. This is the conversation that's happening in their heads. They've got this pain problem. If they're new to video blogging, I would guess, I'd put it out there that this is probably not the first thing that's going on in their heads. So for me, I do want you to learn more about your prospects, and then
I mean, if we go back to your original question about where are they in their career, it's actually interesting. Like, one of the reasons this came about is I know someone who started out a video blogging challenge, and they were doing like a 30-day video blogging challenge, and they stopped after day 10 or 12, and I spoke to them, and it had taken them 5 hours to do their two-minute video blog. And you know, that person is not a video person, but it's taken them 5 hours trying to edit it and trying to add graphics and things. So I guess from that point of view, it's the person who understands the value of a video blog, who's got an audience already and possibly is aware of it, but it seems like hard work.
What I like about what you just said too is you gave a really specific example of a pain. So when you said it used to take me 2 hours or 5 hours to do a 2-minute video blog, I would work on a phrase like that to put it in quotes and turn it into a headline, and then take this imagine video blogging without the headaches and pop that into your subhead area. Just kind of lead with that tangible problem that people have, where your prospect coming here is like, yeah, it does take me 5 hours to edit a 2-minute video blog, and I have to figure out if it's even worth it to me to do that. So that's what I would do off the bat, because just hearing you say that sounded like an opportunity at least. And then from there, I would, if you were to say, oh, Joanna, not going to do that at all, okay, fine. But if you were to leave it as it is without the headaches, as that phrasing there, without the headaches, I would list those headaches, like the actual pains. Like, you do that down below, no technical headaches with editing, graphics, formatting, etc. But we want to know what that headache is. Maybe if there are a lot of them, lead with the most clearly painful problems that you solve those headaches. That's my initial feedback here.
Cool. I think so. Is part of what you're saying, like, just the word headaches, like, people might not actually be saying that to themselves. Like, no one actually says, I've got a headache when it comes to video blogging. No,
a headache is, I mean, it's more, you can visualize a headache or the things associated with a headache. Okay, right? You get what a headache is, but you don't feel a headache. You don't it doesn't touch anything and like poke at it. And that's kind of the opportunity, I think, is what does that headache look like? Like, what is it? Because it's right now it's a bit of a summary pain. And it's usually better to get specific than to summarize, even though we think, well, isn't a headline supposed to summarize? Well, no, it's usually much better to get specific in it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like what you were saying. Sorry, Paul, does that help?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like what Joanna was saying about like what sort of people are coming to this page, because if you're doing, like the example you gave there was a situation where you're doing a lot of content. Were you doing the 30-day challenge? You were putting that on yourself, and it was
no. This was someone else I know that was doing it, and I rang them up and said, "Why did you stop?"
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about. Actually, yeah, mutual friend of ours, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is, if you are doing that really content-heavy strategy, like the way I do my businesses, where people get to that landing page, you've already sort of educated them. You already know enough about them. You know that they're doing video. Like if you're doing a challenge, for example, or something like that as a way to promote the service, which would be, to me, it'd be a no-brainer. Then you know enough about them to know that they probably have had specific problems and pains very recently. They know they want to do video blogging. They've tried it. This stuff already. You know so much more about them, so it becomes so much easier to write good copy for them.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. A few other quick points. I don't know. I'm not looking over at the screen, so I don't know if there's more lined up here, but I just want to point out because you're providing a service, I would put your face out there a little more. I assume right now that this is you, but then when I look at it, it can't be you because it's on camera. So this is just a stock photo then, I assume. But you're providing a service, so you don't have to lead with that. I do think you should probably lead with a really great example of a video blog that you've helped to create, and just like kind of put that sort of front and center, and then put the sign up today call to action, not that language, but put that call to action under that, or at least not above that. And then, optimize that sign up today, because I think that's what was throwing me. I thought it was a SaaS product because it was a sign up today kind of thing. I don't know. The language is throwing me, and plus it's not. So what we want to do often when we're writing a call to action is complete the phrase "I want to," and then whatever that blank is that follows is usually a pretty solid call to action. It's even better if that mirrors what you're saying in your headline, but that's not always a must do. But if the "I want to" is "I want to video blog without the hassle," or "I want to video blog faster," or something, then something like that becomes your call to action.
Awesome. Would you make it? Would you flip it and go something like "Help me with my video blog"? Or
it's good. People we've seen first person buttons work really well. Because you're offering a service, maybe I would. Yeah, it's worth a test, right?
Test it.
Or just throw it out there and see what happens if this is a new site and maybe the traffic's not there to test it.
Nothing there yet. That's awesome.
I think that's good advice around the service thing, because I think a lot of us are launching services and we get all caught up in just thinking that everyone knows what everyone's doing. But when you hit a website called Video Blogging Success, it could literally be anything. I think an easy way to fix this, and I don't know how you feel about this, Joanna, but I always like to make sure that above the fold people at least know exactly what it is. So you've got like a sentence here that says a video blog a week, edited and graphics uploaded for you for $297 a month. That's kind of hidden in the middle down there.
Okay.
And that's still, I think that needs to be reworded, because that still doesn't say exactly what it is, but at least tells people that it's a service, kind of. So like maybe something further up the top that actually tells them exactly what it is, so they know whether or not it's the kind of thing they're going to need. What do you think about that, Joanne? Is that bad advice or?
No, I think that's good. Yeah, and I didn't see that line on there, but as you've been talking, I've been thinking through. You've kind of touched on a few different like challenges or struggles I think that people have when they're considering working with a service provider versus like signing up for a free trial of a software solution. Around just what you were saying, and now I'm losing it because I started reading down the page. Oh crap, I'm losing it. No,
it's just that because it's got a line halfway down that I think better describes what they do than what's written up the top, but it's kind of hidden.
Agree. That could be. I mean, because that's the promise, right? And it's always best to have one big promise, and the more tangible it is, the better. So if a concern that people have with the service is, oh, it's going to be like expensive, right? Video blogging, I don't have any real revenue attached to it. I'm doing it for content marketing. I don't know if it's going to work. Can I afford a human being to sit there and edit my video blog for me? Is it really worth it? I'll just go back to blogging, or whatever it is, right? Or all those objections you put in your head. So if you can solve that right away by saying a video blog each week, edited with graphics and uploaded for you for just $2.97 a month, that feels like that would be a core, like a really a strong promise, at least, to make at the top of the page.
Cool.
That's definitely a thing that came out. So we had Kevin Rogers. I don't know. Do you know Kevin, Joanna? From Copy Chief. He's really funny.
I know of him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that he was going to be talking in here. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on yesterday, and that was a big takeaway from his thing, which was like, at the very, very least, make sure people know what you do. And in a lot of these cases, people sort of, I don't know if they deliberately hide what they do, or they're just too nervous to kind of say it up front. Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. I just want to point out one last thing here, which is a video blog each week for $2.97 a month loses the fact that you're getting 4 video blogs a month, which is what I'm assuming, if I'm doing the math right, is what they're actually getting. So a video blog for $2.97, $2.97 sounds like 1 for $300 versus 4 for $300. So I would make sure I drive that home if you intend to work more with that language, which I think we should.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Fantastic. Thanks, Joanna. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks a lot, Paul. Cool. Good luck.
All right. So we do have, you're getting a lot of love for your books and your content over in the right-hand side. So I know you're probably not looking at those because there's too much going on.
That's nice. Cool.
I've got a couple more calls. I might just take the calls that come in, and then we'll get the URL. Hey, David, how you going?
G'day, mate. How are you?
Very well. What's your, do you have a question or a site?
Actually, a site, mate, if you wouldn't mind. Joanna, kudos for your site. I follow it avidly.
Oh, thank you. That's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm a friend of Dave Collins, who I know you're familiar with.
I love Dave. Awesome.
Known him for 20 years. The site I'd like you to take a quick look at, if you wouldn't mind, is nakedwp.com.
NakedWP?
.com.
Okay. Okay. Looking at it.
So this is, David, can you just describe in words what this is?
Certainly. This is a service designed more in line with white labeling. I've read your views on white labeling, Dan, and I happen to agree with many of the things you've said, but principally for the sort of people that yourself couldn't perhaps help, except I don't do the small fixes. So it would be web designers, small hosts, people who are basically using plugin and dashboard-based systems to manage and care for WordPress. The difference with this is that it doesn't use plugins and dashboards. It's literally using server-level technology to connect. It takes the processing off of the host server. We do it, and we reconnect and basically get WordPress up to date and backed up, etc.
So this is like a managed WP.
It's a fully managed service, yeah.
Like the managed WP, the software.
Within that concept, but obviously without the part where you're actually sitting there and clicking update. You don't need to. It's done for you. It also has rollback, for example, which is the major issue I found when I was using these services. They'd break with WordPress update, a plugin would die. This actually checks on a per plugin basis whether or not the site's up. If it's 404ing or 301ing, it'll do a restore. It'll roll back even at the single plugin level, so that the site's back online. Then we can look at what the heck happened and try and, basically mitigate the problem.
And this is software that you've built? Or? Principally,
it's software. Obviously, there's a human interaction level that will occur when there's an issue. Some things can't be solved with software. But yeah, it's working. It's written in C and it runs at the server level.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to scratch my eye. I'm struggling a little bit to understand now, and it might be because I'm not your target audience, but a part of me thinks that I am actually, because we're on WordPress at Copy Hackers. We have a lot of plugins. And so I don't know if I'm getting it, because I got a little lost in the technical stuff, frankly, which is
this is
hard to deal with.
But multiple sites. So if you're an agency, you have 20 customers, and you need something.
Oh, it's for. Okay.
Yeah, it's for somebody who has multiples of customers. See, a service like Dan's is suited far better to the individual business owner who has a site or two. What I found when I was dealing with web designers and people like that was that they wanted to facilitate the use of Dan's services, but they simply couldn't. And there were other services that, $70 or $80 a month, and therefore small business people with single sites as well. So this is sort of a shot at caring for some of those people who aren't at the big web host level, but are still struggling to, the amount of times you read on the WordPress forums where they've got multiple sites down simply because, last year WordPress made a few changes with, for example, shortcodes. It was hell on earth for a lot of people at that point in time. This sort of service, it wouldn't have happened. They would have been restored, and they would have been back and running, and they would have been in a position where you're monitoring them so that until those glitches are fixed and they're hacked, they're fixed. You understand what I mean?
I'm trying to. I do understand.
I understand because I know this industry pretty well. But I think this copy on the site is
that's like, so I understand, but as you're talking, I'm trying to mentally capture some of the phrases that you're saying, and so when I do that, I miss the words that follow because I'm like repeating it in my head. I should probably start using paper again, but I try to be paperless, and then I'm like, I need to write something down. But this is being recorded, and I think that's a really important thing for a lot of founders who are writing their own copy to do, is to record themselves talking about their solution in plain language. Because you've identified groups of people for whom this is a good solution. It's not just a good solution. It's like in critical moments, it's a life-saving for the business solution. I like to use ideal for statements because part of great copywriting is letting the prospect see him or herself on the page. And it can be, people often think, oh, okay, put a picture of them on or whatever, right? And that's one avenue. But there's better, I also really value clarity and just saying exactly what you are trying to say, like just say it. So if it's ideal for agencies that have considered WP Curve but are too blank for it, that might be, like, if you actually do see that a lot of your best prospects have considered solutions like WP Curve, I don't know if they have, but if they had, then that would be a really great statement to make. You don't have to lead with it as your headline necessarily, but I would not let them get too far down the page before they can absolutely see themselves on the page. And right now, I think the background graphic isn't helping anything. And I know from what I understand, you put this together relatively recently. It went live. Okay, yeah. So you might not have time yet to worry about the images that you're putting on there, but just as a note, it doesn't help me get if this is right for me. Am I at the right place? Are you going to do what I need you to? And it might be, of course, that WordPress professionals, that's a mouthful, are going to get it a lot faster than I would. But even still, there's always a good case for jargon in certain places, but by and large, most people who arrive at your site should at least get it. So yeah,
I feel like I think that's good advice that you said about listening to this back, because when you talked about this, you're talking about WordPress professionals and WP Curve and all these different solutions. I think it feels to me like you're too in like the WordPress world. You're too deep in it, because like, even if someone's using WordPress, I don't know if there's that many people that identify as like a WordPress professional. Like, I don't identify as a WordPress professional. I don't see that on a website and think that's what I am. And
This was my problem because some people are marketers and they're actually hosting client sites.
Right.
Some people are designers. Some people are trying to be web
Yes.
hosts on a mere skill set. It's very difficult to come up with a term. One thought I had was, multiple landing pages for each type.
Well, you might not need a
customer
term.
type.
You might just need to understand how they're feeling. I mean, if the one common thing is they've all got clients and they don't want their clients ringing them at 2 o'clock in the morning because they're trying to sleep and their clients are pissed off, then you can get to that without putting a term on it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can simply say ideal for designers and marketers with clients on WordPress.
Yeah.
And just have that line in there, and then I say, "Oh, I'm a designer with clients on WordPress, and now I'm going to stick around and read." I would pull WordPress Professional, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much.
Thanks, David.
Oh, okay. Are we done?
We pretty much told him to rewrite the whole page,
here, but...
so I don't know if you...
No, that's okay. Okay.
Let's take a couple more because we got a lot of people calling in, so thank you.
Okay. Thanks, David.
All right. Matt, if this works... let's see if I can find his... You're on the computer, right? Can you, if I click the question, you can see the question when it comes up as well, like the URL of the site?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Matt, what's up?
Hello, Matt.
Hey there, guys. What's happening? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you. Did the link come through for the site?
Yes, I got it here.
I don't see anything. Oh, okay.
Something university.
LLC.
LLC.
LLC University.
Okay. .com?
.com, yes.
LLC University. Does it help if I ask Matt to say it in words, Joanna, or is that going to distract you from reading it?
It's actually been really helpful.
Oh, no, that's okay.
It's actually been really helpful to see that from a third-party perspective of the prior people. So I think for the audience, it's pretty good. So we teach entrepreneurs how to form LLCs, also known as limited liability companies, in the United States.
Okay. In the United States. Okay.
Yeah. So if there's foreigners,
Nice and sure.
Only in the United States.
They may not know what it is.
Okay. I'm just reading through it for my... What's the price?
Right now, it's $180.
One-time fee of $180 to form your LLC?
Correct. They also have to
teach
pay. They also have
them
to pay
how to form an LLC or to form an LLC for them?
It's not. We teach them how to form it. It's kind of, think of like almost like a membership website, but it's not really a membership. It's a one-time fee. They're step-by-step videos. It basically walks them through every single form and shows them exactly how to fill it out. They submit it, so it's the cheapest, it's the fastest, and a lot of people like the fact that they're learning it because a lot of this information is not publicly available.
So it feels like, I mean, I think the hero section is probably not the biggest opportunity here because it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the problem that that comes to mind immediately is, am I capable of doing this myself? Like lawyers they go to school for this, and now I'm supposed to take on this risk. What if I do it wrong? So I feel like you're going to come up against that objection. So maybe the made easy language that you have in your headline, I think ease is possibly one of the right benefits to go with. I would want to work in here somewhere, not let them get too far down the page, and maybe before you introduce your first call to action. So somewhere higher on the page, not necessarily in the hero, but if you're going to leave the button in the hero, then possibly in the hero, give some assurances that they can actually, yes, you can do this. And that often will take, the more people actually do it, the more you can use real social proof to help people understand that, yeah, they can do it. But I would hesitate to do it. It's scary. That's my initial feedback, is I think that objection, you can find out if that's there. It might not be. And you don't want to introduce an objection that people don't actually have. So it might be that your best prospects aren't worried about that. But I would find out if they
definitely
are.
There. There's a lot of fear around it because most of the talk in the industry is very hey, this is super complex. You need to pay us to do this, and if you screw it up, you're going to get your ass sued. So that is
right?
That's definitely running in the mind. But the way that you said it just shifted a framework for me. So that's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
So it's almost like you got two stages of you need to convince the person that they can do it themselves, but there's an opportunity to convince them if they do it themselves without you, then they're in trouble.
Yeah, Joe, would you guys take a look just below the first blue section? There's three major logos three little icons in white.
Icons, yeah.
And the second one, the last sentence says, "With our guidance, you won't make any mistakes." I'd kind of give that like a 75 out of 100. It's not super strong, but I think something along that theme might be something that should be kind of, well, what do you think? Should that be pulled out and make a little?
I'd elevate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it. I mean, you could. I mean, because it's an important message. You don't want it to be just stuffed into a bullet. And I think your bullets are doing pretty well right now. The bullets in your hero, in the blue section. But you have all this space under your video, and that's an ideal place to put a caption. And the caption doesn't have to be absolutely what the video is about either. We're just trying to get eyeballs that are already going to look at the video to look at the words that are near the video. So you could take something like that, with our guidance, you won't make any mistakes, and say like, watch the video with our guidance, you won't make any mistakes, right? Like that's bad, but try to tie it so people get that so it doesn't feel like super out of place to have that language. But I do think that language or something like it should come up.
I wonder if
by come up, I mean come up higher.
I wonder if you can step that so you can do what Joanna's saying, but also like maybe on the sign-up page where people are still deciding whether or not they want to do it, that's when you add a little bit more fear in about if they don't sign up. If they try to do it on their own, then that's when they can get themselves into trouble rather than scaring them on the homepage.
You know what? It's there.
Go ahead.
And it's the same thing. That needs to be. God, getting like objective advice is so good because this stuff just clicks and makes sense instantly. And it's like, oh, cool, never thought of that. Writing that down, doing it tonight. So good stuff. Thanks.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome. One other note: your how does it work and why you use LLC University. Those crossheads you have going down for the different sections.
Yeah.
I refer to those as placeholder copy or even just navigational. So they're telling you what's going to follow, but they don't do any work. And it's a crosshead. Like that's where eyes go, right? So to kind of waste those words on something like how does it work, when instead you could say like answer it like it works really easily. You only need to watch 3 videos and you'll be able to start your paperwork or something, right? Like just start moving them to get it. So make those crossheads do more work. And the icon for join the LLC formation course is somebody paying. Probably not the best thing to make a person think of when they're not even near that point of actually paying yet. So something else to do with joining.
Do you guys see anything else in your mind? Because that was a pretty mentally taxing process. So do you have anything that comes up for you when you think of that?
A better
like
icon?
An icon?
No. Yes. Yeah. Like a better icon.
Yeah.
What do you see in your mind?
Like you could use the computer monitor still, but like a check mark or something on it. I don't know, right? Like it has to be meaningful. You can't just place an icon because the template calls for one.
Yeah.
So it should support the message. But what does joining the LLC formation course? Well, is it a human type thing where there's like, I don't know, right? That's where you hire a designer. I just know that
you're also
don't lead with the image.
I don't know if you need. I mean, what you're basically saying is the first step is you give me some money, which almost goes without saying. I don't even know if you need that step. Like you're saying, you give me some money for some training courses, and then you watch some training courses. It's almost like.
Do you need the section at all?
Yeah.
Oh, send your documents to the state and pay filing fee. Stop talking about payments. Send your document. I think that's obviously an important thing. Like, okay, well, once I do the university, so there are steps there, right? I have to watch the videos, then I have to acquire the forms. Are they online? I don't know. That feels like there's a big gray area.
Cool. They're all in the course, but I guess that needs to be.
Oh, they're in it?
We provide all the forms and the videos. There's basically 4 videos step by step.
Well, you should show them. If you can show them, it's going to look a lot better than a generic icon.
Cool.
Yeah, can you get, yeah, agreed.
In like screenshot type fashion or an iconic representation?
No, if you can actually, if you can show something that looks real and looks valuable, you should do that. If you can do it in an image that doesn't look shitty, which is sometimes a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough, yeah. But yeah, better than an icon that nobody, they're kind of white noise too, right? Like, and they're like not even colorful. So
and they're too big. They're way too big. They're getting way too much attention.
Yeah, that's a lot of really good real estate that they're taking up. So yeah, I would try to do the screenshot of the actual video that we're going to be seeing. And it can also kind of give you a bit of a teaser and make you feel like you're getting prepared for this course already, which, could have good effects as well.
Yeah.
This is such good
something like this, like some sort of lead magnet like this would do really well, I think. Like if you could drive some traffic to a lead magnet that talked about, mistakes of self-submitting LLC stuff that gave them valuable information but didn't give them the whole lot, would educate them in your service. I think that would work kind of well for a service like this.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like on exit intent, have some sort of pop-up if they don't sign up. I know people hate pop-ups, but they work.
Yeah, we've answered another question we had on the right-hand side.
Oh, really?
I think
was it about our pop-up?
It might have been in the last one. It was like, I took my pop-up off because Dan said he hated them and hated every person who used one.
Dan,
what do you think?
No, we just hate things that work.
We have a free.
Sometimes they work.
We have another version of this site. This is a rebrand and a national site, but we have some state-specific ones that have a pop-up that's been pulling like 5% on a free email course for months and months. So yeah, it does work very well.
Can't imagine how much people hate you because of it, though. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, Dan. I hear a lot of people hating pop-ups. And
there's a good reason for that.
We love ours.
There's a good reason
for
that.
Hate away. What's your reason?
Well,
I know the reason.
There's a good reason why people talk about people hating pop-ups. It's because people hate pop-ups.
Thanks, Dan.
No worries. So just to go back to something Joanna said at the very start, which we probably could have spent a bit more time on, which was like when Joanna went to this site, she was immediately thinking like, is this actually submitting my LLC for me? And like the language on your buttons
says that, yeah.
Kind of says that. So that's another thing you need to address is people are going to think this is a service for submitting an LLC. So you need to make sure they don't sign up for this and then at the end think, oh shit, I still have to do it.
So Form My LLC leads you to think this is going to get done for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that points to a problem with the I want to formula for calls to action, because the line would be, I want to form my LLC now. Boom, perfect button, except that it's not actually accurate, about what the action they're going to take. So that's like a good asterisk for that formula. Make sure that what follows actually matches what they expect. Yeah. Okay.
So here's rough draft version. Like, teach me how to form my LLC now. Okay. How do I shorten that? Or what comes up for you? Not necessarily button copy, but I think there's still a lot of work for us to do to really make it clear that it's, because most people are used to a service-based industry. So this type of product offering in the industry is unique. And most of our demo is like 35-55, kind of non-technical. So they're not like, oh yeah, online courses day in and day out, like we all do it naturally. So I think we're going to have even more friction there than sort of average.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, I think as long as you don't say things like, I want to learn how to do it, like it will be a matter of exploring what your prospect feels, what they know, what they want, in order to get to a place where you can more confidently write that language, all of your language, frankly.
There's a few suggestions in the right-hand side as well, but the other thing I would say is the page is lacking in clarity to a point where the button, people are almost having to look at the button to learn what you're offering, which really shouldn't be the case. They should know that before they pick them. Is that an animal? What was that?
That's a cat. Sorry, he's very intrigued by what's going on here.
Oh, that's a good sign. I'll take it as an omen.
This is up there with my first Periscope call when I was doing it on that couch and a freaking bird flew into my glass window and just went bang, and it was live. So Yeah, that was fun.
That's awful. Oh my gosh, that's awful. Terrible. Yeah. Anyway, that's sad.
Alrighty. I'm going to take another one.
End on there.
I hope that helps, Matt.
Yeah, this is rock solid. I'm pumped. Thank you so much. I appreciate the awesome cut through clarity. Thanks so much, guys.
Cool.
Alrighty,
Good luck.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Well, you're very popular, Joanna. We're going to work out who to. Ben Hucker. I'm going to see if I can find his question.
It's quite a name, Hucker.
If I say it slowly. Answer question.
Can you hear me?
It doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Hi.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Hi.
We can.
We can, yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, so my site's venturable.com. So
going there.
So basically helping startups put together their capital raising documentation. So if they need to raise seed capital, Series A, Series B, pre-IPO, at the moment it's kind of priced on a case-by-case basis. So it's a company that's raising $2 million is obviously going to be priced different to a company that's raising only, say, $200,000 in seed funding. So yeah, just wanted to get your thoughts on page one, especially.
Where's your headline?
I don't have one.
Is that what that orange bubble is?
That's the name of the company. So.
Oh no! Helping startups craft a compelling investment.
Oh yeah. If there's a heading, then that's it. Yeah.
Ooh, that is a mouthful. Okay. So what's the core problem that you're solving here? What's like the number one thing that people want from you here?
People just don't have time to put together detailed 25-page information memorandums and pitch decks. So it's solving the problem of time and cost, I guess, and getting it done quickly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. So it feels like, again, it's good to watch this back and make notes about the things that you say, because if it's like, because you don't have time to put together a pitch deck and a 25-page report or whatever it was that you said, that's a business plan. That's basically the headline. That's a headline, right? That's a really good starting point for a headline where I quickly get it. And if that's not true for me, if I have nothing but time, then it won't resonate. But if it's true that I am lacking time and I would like someone else to do this work for me, then that could be a good way to pull people in. And then the question is, well, there's going to be a lot of questions that follow, of course, but they will include things like, well, who are you? Why are you the one to do this for me? There's pitch decks online. Why can't I just take the one that Buffer posted and make it good for me? That's not to say that you have to put that in your copy, but I would, if I were you, I'd go through and just list out all of the objections that a prospect may have. Even better if you could actually just talk to people about those objections. But I think in most cases, a lot of us can just go ahead and write down the most likely objections as we know them and just like list them, like go down the page, like no idea is bad. Every objection might actually be a real objection. And then after that, refine it down and try to figure out how to tell that story that connects with people who are considering raising money. Of course, they're all
that's another thing. So it's the time, the cost, and telling the story. A lot of entrepreneurs, CEOs have trouble telling their story. So it's one thing that Dan's very, very good at. So
yeah. Dan, do you have any?
Yeah, I honestly just can't get past the look of it to even read the copy. Like if I was in this market for this kind of service and I was a startup, I just wouldn't even consider something that looked like this. So I think I know this theme because I actually used to use this theme on the 7-Day Startup site. If you listen to the call with Nick from yesterday, he went through a bunch of themes. I posted in the group last night. You can get a theme very, very cheaply that looks shit hot. I mean, if it's a startup that's going after investor funding, they're going to have expectations around design, and you can do a lot better with the theme. Or if you want to stick with this theme, you can do a homepage with optimized press, which is what I do on the 7daystartup.com site, which is a bit of a ghetto way of having a nice looking homepage, but also having just whatever theme you've currently got. So I'd spend some time on that. equally with the copy, because people are going to immediately rule it out if it just doesn't look legitimate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's I've basically put it together in the past 3 days. It's a new
sorry, I
site
have to
for my
remember
old
that.
site.
I have to remember that. That's all good, but there is a way that you could have spent the same amount of time and use a different theme, or you use the current theme. But the problem is with when you use themes like this, and I've seen this theme when you buy it, it's very pretty, but then when you take off the little pretty tree and all the other stuff, there's kind of nothing left. And I had the exact same problem with the 7-day startup site. Which is why something like Optimized Press can be good, because they'll give you a template that has all the sections in it that at least will, like, it's got testimonials and it's got like the nice headline. I mean, the reason you don't have a headline is because you didn't have a box up there that had the headline that made no sense that you had to click on to change. So if you can get a template built in, then it makes it a lot easier to put together something that is much more likely to sell.
Okay. So Optimized Press, that's cool.
Yeah, just watch the replay of the Nick Davis. There's too much time to talk about WordPress themes. Not enough time, sorry, but that was an hour and a half on WordPress themes, and it was very, very good. So check that one out. Yeah.
Apart from look and feel, like, is it making sense, the actual offer? Like, if you actually read the copy?
So we have to read it then. Okay. Startups, craft a compelling investment case. Oh, okay. So you've just said the same thing as in the bubble. Okay.
I can give you one piece of advice on the we help maximize your chance of securing funding from private and institutional investors by crafting a compelling story and building the story into your investor collateral. I always read stuff like that, and like, if people are telling me they're very good at telling a story, but they're doing it in the most bland corporate jargony manner, it immediately makes me completely discount what they're saying, because I think if you're great at telling a story, you wouldn't tell a story like that. It's like the I think, I can't remember who said it, there's been too many calls, but the copywriting agency who says, we craft, it was Erica from Frank Body. It's like the copywriting agency that says we craft funny and compelling copy. And it's like, well, why don't you just craft compelling and funny copy instead of telling people you do that?
Yeah. So,
there's a lot
the
to be
show
said.
don't tell idea. Yeah, I mean, you lead with we help, right? So doesn't matter. Like, I know you're providing a service, and it can be helpful to lead with we at some points when you're offering a service. But by and large, our goal is to start every sentence with you. Just try it that way and then refine it to the point. But if you start every sentence with you, then chances are good you're actually talking about your prospect instead of talking about yourself, which is one of the things. And further too, because when Dan was reading that aloud, you could hear the need to take a breath, right, happening. So the more people have to keep running and rattling along in your sentence, like, you're wearing them out, right? Who is it? Bart Schultz, who talks about, I'm not in the world of brains or anything like that, but he's like very, very bright. He talks at conferences about your system 1 and system 2. It's worth looking at Bart Schultz. And system, I believe one of the systems at least is the one that has to do the reading and thinking, and it gets exhausted very, very quickly. And then you just stop doing the work, and you're like, everything else takes over. So if you're exhausting people, 1, the typeface is really small. 2, you're writing long sentences. At least the column is narrow, so that's good. If it was the full width of the page, like, it would be over. But do little short sentences. Just make them short. We help maximize your. Rewrite that whole thing, but where you have, by crafting a compelling story and building this story into your investor collateral, you could just, as a very quick shortcut, you could just put a period after, like, before the by, and another one before the and, which means, you're taking, by crafting a compelling story and making it a sentence of its own, really breaking all of this up into smaller, consumable sentences that don't have to operate by the rules of grammar. Absolutely, it can be an incomplete sentence and still work perfectly fine as copy, as long as people can easily consume it.
Yeah, okay. It's just that fine balance, I guess, between talking to higher level CEOs and then just sort of.
But they're coming to you to raise money, and if they don't have somebody who's already on staff that can do this work for them, right? They don't have somebody they can say, okay, for the next 3 months, you're going to be going hard on this. That if they think they have to take that on themselves, they're not huge CEOs in a lot of cases, right? Like I get like the startup world isn't filled with 50-year-old white guys that are putting together these big pitch decks. It's filled with young people who are trying hard to get everything done on very little money. You're not talking to old dudes sitting in boardrooms at all. You're talking to people who move fast, who are on mobile all the time, who expect quick communication. And when you slow it down for them, I mean, what does that say about how it's going to be to work with you? We have to sit through long talks and read through long emails when I really just want to get this problem solved.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just one thing that just wasn't sitting with me all that well about the name. I can think of examples like Codable or Learnable where they've got the word able at the end, which I think there's a reason for that. Yours is Venturable, but it almost looks like Venture Rebel because it's not able, it's able.
Venture Bleh is how I pronounced it. Venture Bleh. That's how I'll spell it. So.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be just venturable, as in understandable, observable. So it's just a natural extension of the word.
But there's an E in there.
Yeah, that's the E for venture, so venturable.
But if you look at like Codable or Learnable, they put an A after the E, which is why it's obvious that.
I didn't want to say venturable.
I think the point is you'll find yourself rebranding because nobody will know what you're doing with it. So like while you're early on, at least just come up with a new name. Just come up with a new one. I agree. I think people will probably chat that it's not working.
I've had a previous name, and that was my new name. So
I think venturable is okay, but I just think you're missing an A.
No, just venturable.
I know, but I think it still needs an A. Like Learnable and Codable have an A after the E. Well, sorry, Codable.
It's not able. And then if you do venturable, which I agree with Dan, it should be. If you're going to keep venturable, make that E an A, and then just don't make Ventura orange. Just make it all one color. It can all be dark gray and.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem.
Yeah,
the orange and the black that we're getting.
True.
Just make it one color.
Yeah.
Venturable is taken too, so that was another reason.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, don't let that stop you. You can always change the name. I've changed. WP Curve didn't start as WP Curve. You can always change the name. I just thought I'd mention it. Someone said Venture Rebel. They like the name Venture Rebel, so there you go. Maybe look at that one.
That's interesting. Right. Switch the LE around. Venture Rebel. That's kind of
all right.
That's all good feedback. Thank you.
Thanks
for calling in, mate.
We're getting torn up there.
I know that one was quite aggressive.
That was rough. Sorry.
All right. Helen. Okay. Well, Helen. I'll come back to you, Helen, because I did do a big review of your site already. I might just see if I've got a couple more. Sorry, we've already been going for 50 minutes. Wow. Do you need to take off?
I thought it was an hour, isn't it?
Okay. Cool. So maybe can we do 2 more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Okay. Evaldas.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do I say your name?
It's Evaldas.
Oh, it is just one word, Evaldas.
Yeah, Evaldas.
Okay, I hope I said that right. Okay, cool. Hi.
So, I think Dan already saw my site a little bit. I did some
just
work.
Just read out the URL so people on the replays will know.
mycast.io. Yeah, I did
pricing.
I did pricing because sort of I did some copy on that one, but it's not visible yet. I'm still working on the copy for the front page.
Okay, so this is the sign up page.
Yeah, it's basically a draft for my packages. For pricing.
I love pricing pages. They're my favorite.
Yeah, I think it's crucial.
Yes.
Yours. One of my bugbears with Sumo Me. It's like it just pops up over everything and ruins everything. But you've got like a sharing.
Yeah, I spotted it.
Who's going to go to a page and share a pricing page on Twitter? So you've got sharing
yeah, I
icons
spotted
popping
this
up
myself.
over the copy.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, sorry.
Pull shares off,
No.
pull Sumo Me off, because pricing, we want to focus them in, excuse me, entirely on choosing a package, not getting them to opt in. They're going to
Okay,
opt in
noted.
by becoming a customer. So let's focus on that one, I would say, yeah.
So you've also got the Sumo Me pop-up popping up over the pricing and over the, and you got the lockable banner at the top. I hate those lockable things at the top as well. It just makes you feel cramped, and like this page, ideally people are going to that with the intention of signing up, and you're just like squishing them and making them feel like you're trying to bombard them with stuff. Sorry, Joanna.
No,
we just started diving in on this one. Sorry. But I do agree. For me, there's a sense of crampedness about it. I think because everything's left aligned, like it's all over on the left. And I don't know if that's just, I'm on a MacBook Pro, like a 13-inch, so I don't know if it's better on different resolutions, but for me, it is all shoved over to the left. And of course, with that share bar there, there's all this crap happening over on one side, and then there's this whole big free space over to the right. So I would just center everything, just all goes in the middle if your theme, unless you're doing this yourself, whatever it is, try to get it centered.
It is a theme,
Yeah, it is. Do they allow centering? They don't.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I just took one example we have, so that's why it's a bit. Actually, there was an additional package, and when you have a predefined template, it becomes and you take out something, it's sort of.
It's like a blank gap there in the template.
Yeah. That's why.
Again, this is why sometimes I like something. I've got to talk about optimized press a lot, but this kind of thing happens so much with themes, and you get a template that just doesn't work with the sidebar, and you're like, well, I can't do anything about it. With something like optimized press, you just click insert pricing table, pick the one that has 3 columns that are centered, and you're done. You don't have to change your theme. You just do it for that one page, and you avoid all of this.
Yeah. I don't know anything about, is it optimized press? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's just a landing page builder.
Cool.
But it's just like for this sort of stuff, the thing is like do you use software for landing pages, Joanna?
I use lead pages and sometimes Unbounce, like just for standalone landing pages. Yeah.
Yeah, so optimized press is like that, except that it's a WordPress plugin, it's a one-time fee, and it's 100% customizable, which to me is really important with stuff like this, because you can have, like, you can't really use lead pages as your homepage because you'll kind of look like a spammy internet marketer. You can use it for like opt-in pages, but optimized press, you can use it for your homepage. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but it's true. It's a problem with when you're starting out and you're trying to choose a theme, and you get in there and it's just not that flexible. So, like this.
I hope they give us a discount. I asked them for a discount, and they told me to sign up as an affiliate, and they'd give me 40% commissions. And I told them I didn't want to, and I want them to give us a 40% discount. So hopefully they will.
Well, you're earning it right now, right? You're talking a lot about them. Nice, good for them. I hope they recognize it. Okay, but sorry, on to the pricing page. We've got a gray background, which seems unnecessary. Like it's this box around things with white outside of it, like it's a page within a page or something. So it seems like a bit of a distraction. Like I don't know why it's like that. So we want to minimize distractions, especially at this critical point, which is trying to get people to choose. Obviously, your headline is not a headline at all, and I don't know if your template is forcing you to like call a page our pricing and then.
It's an example, it's a working example.
You can change it. You can edit that.
Yeah, of course, of course. I can change anything.
And choose your packages. So, those. Yeah, I mean they're totally placeholder. It's very hard to tear them down because it's like. Just get rid of them, right? They're not doing anything, and so we have to find out.
Just remove it.
No, you have to replace it. It. Make sure you don't just remove it, and like these little tables are floating around. But we have to really understand, of course. And I don't know yet because I don't know your business. But when people come here, what do they need to hear to feel good about choosing a solution. And good is a loaded word there, because there's a lot of stuff that has to happen, and we can't address all of it all the time. But what are some of the things that they need to, what are the messages they need reinforced? And that's where repeating your value prop on your pricing page can be a good strategy. So that's one thing that might go in probably your subhead here. It depends what you're going to lead with. So is there a free trial, right? People need to know there's no free trial.
Not at the moment.
Is it a service?
Basically, it is a service. It's a transcription service tailored for podcasters. So
okay.
I'm trying to make it as affordable as possible.
Do they get a free transcription at all? Like, do you do anything like that? I don't think you have to. I'm just asking if you do.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it at the moment. I might have like for getting testimonials from other people, or just like get the initial traction, like then sort of suggest doing some free work for that.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm trying to do a little bit lower than the standard and provide some more value.
So it's less expensive than what they'd be used to?
Yeah.
So I would make sure it doesn't have to be on here, but people need you to tell them that. To help them understand what they'd otherwise pay. Like, we want to make our prices always seem like an absolute steal, right? Like, I can't believe I'm getting this much for so little, even if that price is not actually little. But leaving prices alone to kind of float there and have a private conversation with the prospect, where I'm looking at $59.99 and I've got all of these thoughts in my head about what $60 a month turns into. Immediately I calculate, okay, annually I'm going to pay how much? And then I tell myself all the reasons it's not worth that. And that doesn't mean that your ideal prospect will. So it's absolutely critical to know who your ideal prospect is and what they're thinking. But we do need to do some anchoring with our prices. And it doesn't have to happen in your headline or your subhead, but by the time people arrive at this page, they need to be in a position where they feel the value is extremely high for choosing your service, and wow, it's only $60 a month. And right now, you're not helping me understand really anything at this point on the page, because you're lacking a headline and a subhead. All I can really do is look at the things you're asking me to look at, and then have little private conversations with each of those points where they don't get to talk, and I just take the information in and then I run with it and have all of these thoughts go through my head. $59.99 a month. It's a very big font. Make it a smaller font, right? So it doesn't look like a big price. Physically, it's not that big, so maybe it's not actually that expensive. Do you need to charge the 99 cents? Is it really gonna help your business?
Mm-hmm.
I'd cut the 99 cents, definitely.
Okay.
Dan, were you gonna say something?
I was just going to get angry about the multiple 99 cents on the page. I mean, even I've got my inbox up, and my inbox has got 99 in brackets around it, and then I'm looking at this page and every plan's 99. I'm just getting bombarded with 99.
There's so many nines. It's like your lucky number or something. There's a lot going on there. A couple other things very quickly. So you're doing the thing where you lead with the least expensive product. So you're anchoring them. You're giving them
I have some more value propositions that are not available. Like, I have a couple more differentiators. For instance, HTML as an output compared to like Word or PDF. So I'm targeting the ones who want to target their podcast as a blog, sort of transcribe their content. This should be probably explained more in the copywriting. This is sort of like the next step where the potential customer might come in. So maybe next funnel.
Okay.
Sort of filtering.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're looking at line items now, so cool. The bolding is a little distracting in your line items.
Okay.
Because as I look down, the bolding is asking my eye to look in different places, and it's doing it. It's making it happen. So I go 30 minutes, 66, 48 hours, 10 minutes, HTML, simple, tracking. And what have I consumed in there? What did I get? And it's hard, right? Because you're doing a pricing table, and you only have so much room. You want people to notice certain things. I don't know what these credits are. I don't know what that means, 90-minute credit. And then how does that break down into 66 cents a minute? What am I paying? Is it $60 a month, or am I being charged by
It basically breaks down the price, how much a minute costs. This is common in all the transcription services. They have this kind of pricing.
Because I was reading that thinking like, am I going to have to pay twice? Like, am I going to have to pay?
Like there's like a flat fee plus that? Yeah. So
if that per minute price directly relates to the $60 a month, I would put it under and say, equates to 60 cents a minute or whatever. Don't put it as a line item in the.
Okay.
I mean, is it 90 times 0.66 that gives you $59.99? Is that what those two lines?
Yeah. That's the idea.
So why don't you just charge 66 cents per minute? Like put that in your, instead of $59.99, the plan is worth 66 cents per minute, and Rockstar is worth 55 cents per minute.
No, but you have to pay the 60, even if you don't use it, I assume.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sort of a credit. So you buy per month.
Yeah.
For buy per month, you have a credit. It's up to you if you use it or not.
Yeah, I mean, if that 99 cents is like the 66 cents is just like it equates to 66 cents a minute, I would put that up the top and not in the inclusions. If that's a standard sort of industry thing.
It's lower. I mean, in terms of the copy, it's pretty standard.
To me, it feels really complicated.
Okay.
So, and it might be true that it's a complicated thing, but it shouldn't, at the point of purchase, it shouldn't at that point feel like, oh, now we're going to dump a bunch of complicated stuff on you. We should at this point be doing our absolute best to make it really easy to choose you. And that's why we have to work really hard on our pricing pages. But if $59.99 per month actually gets me 90 minutes at 66 cents per minute, it has to be messaged in a different place, not as a line item. Because it has to be connected to that that price.
The package. Okay.
Yeah, as Dan was saying, I don't know if it belongs right below it or as more. I don't know, but it's not working where it is. In my opinion, I think it's confusing things and making me feel stuck on it.
I think there's a lot of ways you can look at how other people do this, because you can a lot of people do. And we do it on WP Curve, is like we have the monthly fee, but we also tell people what that is yearly or vice versa, whichever one's going to do the better job at convincing them that it's a good deal, which is really what you're doing here. So look at a bunch of other examples where people do something similar, maybe not in the transcription world, because it's a pretty a lot of the transcription companies are probably like really big companies who've like got this down to an art and they're just doing bulk transcription. So if you look at software startups that are doing annual and monthly pricing and look at how they sort of position them together, that might be a better way to figure it out.
Okay, that's fine.
And it has to be a subscription model. It can't be like purchasing credits.
It is a unique offering. I mean, nobody does it as a subscription. That's why I'm doing it.
Plus recurring revenue it's a business.
Recurring revenue is good, obviously, if it like.
And I want to offer sort of a little bit more than just transcription. So I want to be sort of like a part of a podcaster's like a tool set. So
I don't know if I'd put the per minute thing. It feels like you're like directly trying to compete with other transcription services by breaking.
Yeah.
But you're trying to offer something. Okay. I mean, you might not even need it, or we might just have it in the fine print. People can do the math. I don't know.
Like do price $59, then small under it per month for 90 credits or something, right? But that all goes into one line. And then you could put in your FAQs, which I don't know if you have those on here. It's good often to have quick little FAQs on a pricing page. Yeah. It's pretty standard and expected almost. If there are things people need answered, like, okay, well, how much am I paying per minute? Like you can just spell that out in the FAQs. It might be worth doing a hover over that has that kind of pop up, but that's also a bit distracting too. But yeah, pull it out as line items, because it's you're making me compare things that I shouldn't be comparing at that point. And then the turnaround times, okay, that's helpful. sections from, I really hope that's meaningful language for your prospect. I don't know what it means, but I don't have a podcast. Blog ready HTML, you said, makes sense. Simple submission, I don't know. Like that might be something you pull out because it's true for all of them. History tracking is true for all of them.
I was just going to say, same as the HTML. That's sort of like, again, with the software ones, like I think Lead Pages might do it, where they have something at the top that just says all of our plans have simple blog ready submission mail in this, and you don't just repeat it in every single one.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great thing to do, actually. Then you'd get rid of 3 lines, which is 3 rows across, which pulls everything up and makes it easy for me to, in a single screen view, see the price, see all of the key stuff I have to consider before I choose my plan, and then the button to click. So I'm not scrolling up and down, which I'm currently doing. So yeah, try to get rid of, and this could really bring down these columns by 5 rows each, which would really relieve a lot of the kind of pain of trying to go through and compare them.
Just concentrate on few points.
On the key points that I need to contrast, right? That are actually different things for me to consider before I choose a plan.
Okay.
And what are the meaningful things? You know, like if it's like, I know with our business, it's response time. That's meaningful enough to a person to pay twice as much for a response time that's twice as good. So what's meaningful to a podcaster to get them to the point to pay twice as much for something? A couple of other things quickly about this page. One is, I don't know how you're ever going to do something at $20 a month. It's a service and make any kind of money. So I'm concerned about the price point.
Yeah, it's just, I'm thinking about that as well. I sort of wanted to be like a sort of lead first. So if
just use content, just use content for leads and ditch it. I reckon it seems too cheap. I mean, even just signing up a customer up, you're going to just lose money on every customer, like a lot of money.
Okay.
Imagine if they email you for support and you're serving a $20 a month thing when you're already making no money on it. Yeah, that's tough.
It's easy with software when it's fully automated and you can just literally, it's like a freemium thing. If once they start using more, they'll just pay more. But this is a service and it's going to cost you money for every customer.
Yeah, I know.
And one final thing. Sorry, you go, Joanna.
No, go ahead. Go, please.
The final thing I was going to say, which we kind of talked about, but there's no proof at all on this page, and a lot of people will use pricing pages. I mean, if you don't have your price on your landing page or on your homepage or wherever, and people are just clicking on here, quite often people will just click on here to actually learn more about the service and learn how much you charge. But then they get to a page that doesn't sell them at all on what you're doing. There's no testimonial. There's no benefits. Yeah,
I'm gonna put it in the front page.
Not
okay, so, but there still should be something.
More
testimonials,
more
and it's something that will make people feel like they're making the right decision by going through this process.
Yeah, and I do wonder when I'm going through here if people are switching from doing this themselves, their own transcription, or a different service. Whatever the case is, if you're thinking of transcription, if you've ever seen one come back, there is usually a quality concern. So I'm not saying you have to bring up on here that quality is guaranteed, but it'd be worth knowing that I'm getting a certain expectation of quality, and that could be a new line item too, where you will guarantee 99.9% accuracy or lack of errors or whatever it might be. But it feels like there's a need to be sure that when I start paying you this every month, I'm going to get quality transcripts back. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. You do that? I don't know, but do it.
I think you do it through testimonials. I mean, to me, it's 100% with something like this. My number one concern is who's going to be writing this stuff. I've seen transcriptions before and they're shit and they require me to do way more work than just writing the whole thing myself. So that's the number one objection. And if you're doing this for John Dumas or some other James Altucher, then I know you're legit. I probably won't even read the rest of your site and I'll just sign up. So I think that's a very easy way to do it.
Okay. Noted.
Are you actually doing it for them?
No.
No.
That would be good. That would be great social proof. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I guess my point is that I reckon that's a lot of what people will be thinking, because people will either not be doing transcriptions at all, or they've tried it and just got bad results, and I've done both.
So actually, like doing some free first and maybe getting testimonials would be a way to
I
go.
always recommend doing that. If you don't have
Yeah,
if you don't have anyone else telling people that what you're saying is not bullshit, then you need to start with that.
It's worth
Okay.
it. But I do think that a risk reversals or a sense that there's assurance here, a sort of guarantee of some kind, could also go a long way toward me making just making people feel good about choosing you. Like get them, or your whole point is to get them to say yes. So what can you do to get them to say yes? Put all of your needs and wants and ideas out of your head. What do you put on here to get them to say absolutely yes?
All right.
Just had a Jose on the right-hand side just said you should transcribe some of these blabs. So there you go. There's an opportunity.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
All right.
Yeah.
I better let Joanna go.
Okay.
Sorry, it's like thanks, man. Thanks for calling.
Okay, thanks. Yeah,
thanks.
Very good feedback.
Oh shit! Sorry, I just cut him off. Sorry, bro. You had enough time on here. No, I didn't do that on purpose. Thank you so much, Joanna. I better let you go because that's like an hour and 15.
Oh, cool. No, it's been fun. I hope it went over okay for people. I didn't offend too frequently.
No, it was fantastic. Thank you so much for being
thank
generous
you.
with your time. And if other people, I mean, people have been recommending your stuff all over the sidebar, but what's a good place for people to learn more about what you do?
On Twitter at copyhackers, as shown above, or just on my site at just copyhackers.com.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye. I'm happy to stay on here for a little bit, guys, if you still got sites you want me to look at. So I'm going to cancel all the current call-ins because I'm not sure if you guys are still here and not sure if you wanted to talk to Joanna or me, but I'll start them again and you guys can fire some stuff at me. I'll try to do them really quickly, though, because these things do take some time. Bucky.
Dude, I'm so nervous right now. I'm so nervous.
What's the URL?
It's thelocalvideoseo.com.
Okay, can someone put it with a Q? Can you put in the Q in a comment so I can bring it up? Was it V?
Yeah, THE.
Oh, the local video. And can you just describe what you offer in words?
It's a video SEO service for local business owners, where we go and do videos for them, review videos, or even longer commercial type videos, and then get them ranked on YouTube and Google, in turn driving traffic to their website or to their store, or whatever the case may be per business owner.
Okay. And we had a lot of questions in here.
It's certainly not a landing page. This is kind of the services page of my website. So
okay.
I know it's not a landing page and it's not set up as one. But,
all right, I'm going to just do it real quick. You got the whole Sumo Me thing happening. You got pop up. Oh, sorry, it's drip in this instance. You got something on the left. You got drip on the right. So completely covering what you're trying to do. Wow, this theme, man. What is this? Have you just built this from scratch or?
Well, kind of. It was initially it was a GoDaddy theme from like a year ago, I believe.
You
I
just can't use this, man. It's just, I mean, you can't even read it. I'm trying to read the text and it's got like massive fluoro colors behind the text. Am I looking at the same? I'm looking at the same thing. Is that what you got? Like the big fluoro stuff down, like the kind of Dr. Seuss like fluoro stuff down the side, and then the background images behind the text, like behind the purple.
Yeah, that's the correct site.
I just don't think you can use this, man. It's just not. I mean, it's good you got a site up, and is it at all customizable?
I mean, it's very customizable. The all the copy that's on there, a lot of that was done for SEO purposes in order for the search engines to grab keywords and stuff like that for that site to actually rank. That now that it's getting ranking and the more that it's visited, obviously I'm going to be able to throw a lot more money at that site once I start getting sales and stuff. That's kind of a site that I did. I paid, I don't know, it's like a $50 for it on GoDaddy a year ago and just did it to put the site up there. You know, and obviously from doing the 7-day, you know, startup thing, I've learned a lot, and you know, I want to go towards WordPress, but
well,
that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Well, to be honest, man, I don't think I can say anything other than you need to go towards WordPress and set up a nice theme. I don't know how customizable this is, but I don't think this can. I don't think you can fix this and make it into, presenting your idea in a good enough way that someone's going to take it seriously. I think it needs to be replaced. I'm telling an SEO guy I don't believe in content for SEO purposes is probably not that smart, but I don't believe in content for SEO purposes. So I think I wouldn't be putting anything on the site at all. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to read this anyway because you can't read it. But when you do move,
the text is bad. Sorry.
Yeah. So when you move, I don't think I can say too much more about this one, man, other than if you're going to upgrade this, move it to a nice theme, make sure the text is really nice and readable, take on the advice that we gave with all the copywriting stuff. And this is really like a sort of a from scratch thing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely love I really want to go towards the look of the WP Curve site that y'all did. I think it's absolutely wonderful, but I don't have $10,000 to throw at a site either. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, the themes we talked about on the call with Nick Davis none of them were more than about $50, $60, and they look incredible. If you look at Theme Valet, this is a theme that costs $60, and it looks like it's been designed by a world-class designer. And all these themes are posted in the Facebook group. I've got every step-by-step process that you need to build a WordPress site using a theme like that. That's not going to cost more than $100. So that's all I can say about that.
Sure. Thanks, man.
Okay. All right, man.
Later.
Mr. Wonderful, I like your name. What's up, Mr. Wonderful? No audio. No audio, Mr. Wonderful. You're going to have to call back. Maybe just check your audio and your preferences. Make sure you can hear yourself, and then reload the page, and then try and call back in. And guys, if you're gonna call in, do a /Q over in the right-hand side to bring your website up on the left as well, so I know which one I'm looking at. Nathan, how you going, man?
Hey, Dan, how you going? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah. My sound just blocked out. No worries. I put it up there before. I'll put it up there again. Sorry, I'm on my phone, guys.
Okay.
rapidexecutive.com/landing.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yep, rapidexecutive.com/landing. I'll chuck it up in the comments now.
Yep, rapidexecutive.com/landing. I've got that.
Yeah, it takes you over to my other site. It's just like a short link.
Rapid. This is the Rapid Startup. Yep.
Yeah, that's just my 7-day startup version of a MVP just for this this time around. Yep. So helping everyone out with landing pages, basically.
Okay. Rapid landing pages. Create beautiful automated landing pages in minutes. Rapid landing pages again. Top points, fully self-paced. So is this? Wow, we can't even see that. So a couple of really obvious things. Just repeating the word rapid landing pages. There's I always get a little bit nervous when people are sort of doing like rapid landing pages by a rapid startup, a parent company of XYZ. It's like, it's kind of confusing for people. It's bigger companies do it when they've got the proof and the credibility. Everyone knows who they are. So it's like center by lead pages makes sense, or like, but
Pablo by,
yeah. But when it's sort of relatively unknown, you're sort of like rapid landing pages by rapid startup, and you've got that in the image there. And and you've got rapid landing pages above, rapid startup on the top left-hand side. That kind of stuff, I think you can think a bit more about that. You can't see the buy button. It's not. So there's a few reasons for wanting the buy button above the fold. People aren't going to see your message and then click the buy button straight away. But what people do is see it and recognize that they know how to buy it, scroll through the rest of the page, look at it, and then they know where to go back to buy it, right? So that's why you have a buy button above the fold. So you need that, and you can't even see your buy button, so that's easily solved. You want to make sure you can see it. Just make it a big bright color. This is. Can you just describe what this is? Is this a course or is it software or?
The fact that I have to is going to answer my own question there. So thanks for that. Yes, so it's at the moment MVP. It's a email course. So step-by-step email course showing you landing page from scratch.
So you definitely need to say
everything from host.
I mean, it just always comes up, and just time after time after time after time, it always comes up. People are just really reluctant to say what it is they're selling. I don't know why, but you need to say what you're selling. Also, just the wording you use can say what you're selling. You say create automated landing pages in minutes. Like, to me, that's software. If this thing is going to help me create something, then it's software. If it's going to help me learn how to create something, then it's a course. So think about that. And you do say it eventually. Eventually, you're confident enough to actually say what you're selling. This easy to follow self-paced course will walk you through everything you need. So that's cool. Also, I mean, just from a credibility point of view, if you're going to, and I mean, I'm trying to be realistic with people who are, putting their sites together so quickly, but specifically if you're going to look for maximum credibility around landing pages, then you better have a really shit hot landing page, because this is like what you do. So I think this landing page is not that great. I mean, it's just text and a little image. Some of them, there's kind of a little bit inconsistent. Actually, the consistency wise are not too bad, but it just doesn't look great. Having like wider text and then a smaller image, and then a bit of text and an image that's misaligned, a buy button that you can't see, and then a big button which is kind of butting up against the email fields. And I mean, these are kind of small things that when you launch a website quickly, you can kind of fix later. But if you're selling landing pages, you need to have a good one. So having the two calls to action on there too, like the get sample, which is like the only one you can see, but the buy now, which is kind of what you want people to click, that's always going to be a little bit confusing. And there's not really any proof on here at all. So I put a post up in the Facebook group last night about how to like get proof elements onto your site when you don't have any proof, which you mustn't, otherwise you would have put it on there. So you need to think about how you can prove that what you're saying is true. Like how would I know that this course is actually good? That's what you need to think about. Like if I'm on here and I can pass the first hurdle, which is figure out what this is and convince myself that I need it, like how do I know that it's actually going to be good? And you do that by reducing all the risk for people by putting testimonials and logos and money back guarantees and or a sample chapter, a sample email, like or just copy on the page that gives an example of what they're going to see. Anything that will reduce the friction or the fear of purchasing something is going to add to that sort of proof and get more people to buy. Price is another one. I don't think I can even see the price on here, which might be fine.
Yeah, true. It's a pop over from Gumroad, so it doesn't come up until you.
Yeah, I mean, it's only $49. I'd be putting that on the page because it's so cheap. I mean, if you're trying to like conceal the price of it because it was a really high ticket item, and you did that on a separate page, or you made people apply before they figure it out, I kind of understand that. But if it's only $49, I'd be putting that on the page for sure. Especially the other thing, especially if you can somehow get a testimonial that ties that, which really would not be that hard to tie the lessons in your training back to a financial result. I mean, if you can just find someone who's got a landing page where they sell something, you can teach them how to build a new one and double their conversions. I mean, it's all of a sudden you're not paying $49, you're investing $49 to make $500. So it becomes a no-brainer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that help?
Yeah, definitely. That's huge, man.
Okay, all the best.
Cheers, guys. See ya.
Can you hear
Bethany.
me?
Yes, I can.
How are you?
What's your? I can see your URL here, but I can't say it. Can you say it?
Memento.
Memento.
Mm-hmm.
Is it spelled right? Memento
No,
spelled right.
I couldn't get anything that was spelled right.
Memento. Okay. Interesting.
So I hear rebranding in the make.
Well, I mean, there is definitely a precedent for misspelt words.
Okay.
But almost always they're not mispronounced words. Like if you think of Flickr, it's not F-L-I-C-K-E-R, it's F-L-I-K-R, but both would be pronounced in the same way by a reasonable person.
Okay.
And same with, we had Nathan from Founder magazine on Founder, F-O-U-N-D-E-R was taken. So F-O-U-N-D-R is kind of cool and he makes the R red, but a reasonable person would read both words and pronounce them the same way.
Okay.
So the misspelling I'm not totally against, but having a word that people can't say is going to become a problem that you're going to have to resolve. Yeah.
Okay.
And on that point, I would much rather there are a lot of ways around this. I would much rather either a shitty domain extension, so memento.live or memento.tv or memento, I mean, one that makes sense, memento.co.net, anything, or a lot of people will just put something before it or after it. I have to look at what your service is. Backup. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
I can put an app. It's software. It'll be a SaaS.
Well, yeah. So getmemento.com or mementoapp.com. Any of those would be 1,000 times better than a mispronounced word.
Okay.
A lot of people do that. I mean, getdrip.com. Edgar, I've got meetedgar.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% fine because domains are impossible to get now. You know,
it's awful.
Yeah, get Memento app. If anyone else has got any ideas on the right-hand side, please.
Okay.
Let us know. So, what did you build this software or?
I'm building it now. I'm working on the high fidelity prototype and getting ready to test that.
What means? What does that mean? something that works.
So it's a really fake MVP where if you, it looks like somebody clicks on the profile and it changes the screen and goes to a profile screen.
Yep. Okay, cool. Back up your online life all in one. So you're a software developer?
I used to be. I've been in management for many years and now my code is shit.
Don't put that on your site.
No, it's bad. Like I couldn't do anything now.
So how are you building this?
I am outsourcing most of the coding.
Okay. Well, that's good. You used to be a developer. I think that helps a lot if you're going to outsource stuff.
Yeah.
I like the overall look and feel of the page. It's nice. Is this a theme or? It
is. It's on Thrive themes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think the name, it's a perfect name, although sometimes a perfect name means that it's been thought of 1,000 times by 1,000 other people, and that makes it an imperfect name.
Okay.
But so do a little bit of research on that. But the theme looks good. Your online life saved wherever you are, forward and magically saved. Every photo. Yeah, I think the copy's a little bit. So what do you want from me? Do you want just me to look at the copy or just overall?
Yeah, because it's something, honestly, Dan, that people don't think about. So there's a lot of things that there's in the US, if you don't have a will, and there's no law around your digital assets. So anything that's on social media, anything that may be on Dropbox, if something happens to you, it can just go away. So I don't know how it is there, but it defers to the terms and conditions of the provider. So there's no federal law, and many states don't have a law. So it's more.
So this is like if you die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to eliminate people that are healthy, but in all the market research, people that are healthy are like, yeah, great idea. I don't have time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the people that care for parents or care for sick people are like, I need to back this stuff up while they're here.
Yeah. This is a really tricky, I mean, it's like, I always like when people ask me about these sort of things, I feel like I'm not giving good answer because I think it's such a hard thing to like convince people of a problem that they don't really know that they have. I mean, you just really need to look at other services that do it and get ideas from them because it's kind of a bit of a hard sell. I mean, I know I'd like to have it. Like online influencers type people would probably like to have it, but I couldn't be bothered. Yeah. So that's going to be difficult. But I'll get to the actual content of the site. It wasn't really immediately clear to me that you were doing this for the purposes of keeping a record in case you're not around anymore, which might be like an awkward thing to say. But maybe you have a look at other people who are in that industry and see how they approach it.
Okay.
Because it's not clear to me looking at this. I think the idea of saving stuff is a good idea, but it wasn't immediately clear that you were doing this for the purposes of like when I'm not around anymore.
Right.
So I don't know if you can do that in a way that just not going to like make people think about death, which is probably not the best way to make people buy something from you.
Right. Because I'm trying to make it more about like making sure that you're celebrating your life and you have everything in one place. So it's taking away from Facebook that people are addicted to.
Yeah. I think you can definitely play on a lot of emotions, especially when it comes to families and like wanting to have a legacy and wanting to preserve. There's a lot of people who are taking photos and uploading and never give a second thought to like what's going to happen in 20 years when your kids want to look at a record. Like people used to have discs for this kind of stuff, and now you just put them on social media platforms that might not be around in 10 years, and you don't really think about. I mean, I think about that kind of stuff a little bit, but I don't think about it enough to kind of find a solution to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you need to really play on those emotions, I think. The call to action, like the above the fold, you've got that massive blue area, which is fine. There's just what I prefer to do with landing pages is to have more. What's the word? Less bold colors. More like okay. So let me say this another way. Keep your bold colors only for your calls to action.
Okay. So that's right.
Yeah, you've got this gigantic blue thing and you've got animation, you've got all this blue background, but there's no call to action at all. And by the time you do get a call to action, it's also blue. So that's just a little thing you can think about.
Okay.
Inside access open to anyone. Insider access to Memento is open for anyone. Well, that's a bit of a trust issue there because you're saying get your exclusive invitation
and then it's
for access. And the second line is saying inside is open to everyone, so it can't be exclusive and open to everyone.
Okay.
Why use Memento? I probably would have put a bit of padding above that. It looks a bit too squished. Lost forever.
Okay.
Locked forever. In many cases, there is no governing law to protect your photos. Many providers reserve the right to destroy data. Yeah, I mean, I still think it just needs to be clear. I guess if I knew that I was reading this in the context of I'm saving something in case I die, then this would make more sense to me.
Okay.
So what you're doing here is really making them fearful that whoever's saving their photos is going to lock them or steal them, sort of thing. That's the angle you're going with here.
Right. It's people don't know that they could be lost or deleted unless you put something in place before you die, which nobody does.
Right. I mean that what you just said there is a hell of a lot more compelling than what you've got on the page. Like I appreciate that it's an awkward thing to say, but what you said there is like exactly why you would use a service like this. Whereas I've read this whole page and I still haven't heard that once.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's the challenge, is to say what you said there in a way that's not going to scare people off. Okay. Yeah, I feel like so you said who needs Memento? If you was a typo there, if you have take pictures.
Yeah.
I think you mean if you take pictures, which is almost unnecessary to say that because everyone takes pictures. But if you use social media and have loved ones and mementos for you, I think you need to include why there, because that really just says mementos for everybody. So you need a little bit more why.
Okay.
You need smartphone, smart and social. If you have a smartphone, then you're in the right place. I like this bit. You're that person. You know me. You do it. You're the family coordinator, the family chauffeur. I think that's kind of cool, because does that come out of like you know that's the sort of person would sign up for this?
Yeah, they do it all. Like they're the person that everybody goes to for everything.
Yeah, it's just so vague, this copy. Like it's like you don't want to tell people what exactly it is because it's too much of an awkward topic. So you're gonna have to just get around that.
Okay.
You're part of building life-changing software. I think that the messaging on the again, you're not being direct about what you have because you don't have anything by the sounds of it, and so at least you should be consistent.
Okay.
So is it exclusive access? Is it them helping you in like a crowdfunding type fashion, which is how you're pitching it at the end? You're like, be a part of building life-changing software. Like that's almost like a crowdfunding angle.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got like this exclusive access angle.
Right.
But then the invites open to everyone angle.
I'm all over the place.
Here. Yeah, I think if it's always very hard when you're trying to deceive people, which is sort of almost what you're trying to do here, because you don't actually have the software. So you need to be honest and not try to deceive people, but also just have one message about why they should join. Okay. And that should come from why you think they would join. I mean, if you want to get people around this idea of building it, you really almost need to do crowdfunding. So I would probably ditch that. Or maybe include that as like another benefit somewhere. I don't think that's a good angle unless you really think people are going to get behind this. I don't think that's a real good angle.
Okay.
And don't be deceptive. If you don't have anything, you need to just figure out a better way to pitch that to people. There's a lot of you don't have a single photo of people. Like this whole thing's about people. You don't have a single photo of people until about halfway down when you just get people bombed by stock photos.
Okay.
And you got this baby on the phone here on Snapchat. So I don't know. I think you need to just balance the images out a little bit. The baby on the phone, I think you probably live without the cheesy sort of older couple looking at the computer. I think you can probably figure out, but you do need some images in there. I posted something in the Facebook group. I think I've posted something in the Facebook group about where to get good stock photos.
Okay.
Let's see if I've still got that here. I copied it. Now here it is. I'll paste it in here again. You might be able to find some really nice. I'll post all the URLs in here. You might be able to find some really nice images that aren't too cheesy. It's always just very, very difficult to find stock images of people, which is what you need.
Right.
That aren't cheesy, but just keep looking until you find them.
Okay.
It's kind of what you need. And then just consistency on the page. You got a lot of different types of fonts and colors, and you got this big blue box with a testimonial, and you got no padding above and below it or beside it. You got the yellow bar down the left-hand side. So I think the theme's nice, but where you've added in your own stuff, and you got another testimonial that's completely different format. So I think you can. Well, actually, that's a message from you, so that's not a testimonial, but it's in italics. So just think about consistency with that kind of stuff. And a lot of centered text and then non-centered text. It's just be consistent.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a tough one, but I think there's some good stuff there and some stuff to action.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, no worries. Good luck.
Thanks.
See ya. I'll give it 20 more minutes, guys, because that'll be 3 hours on Blab, which is what I did yesterday, and at the end I was going a bit crazy. So I've just accepted a couple. Hopefully one of these will come up. Brooklyn and Kiana. Kiana, how are you? Is that how you say your name? Kiana?
Yeah, it's Kiana.
Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How
you
doing?
Do you have here's the site. Here we go. WPGhosts.com. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to just have a look at it from anything in particular, or?
Yeah. So basically, I offer productized web development to digital marketing agencies and freelancers. And so I offer a web package at one flat rate because I have a couple of clients now that I've been working with for about a year now, and they usually send me over client work. So they hire me to do websites for their clients pretty much. Okay. So I figured if I productize it, just package it up in one flat rate.
Oh, cool. Well, here we go. This is nice. Very nice. Is this the same theme that Nick uses on his site?
I don't know. It's the Foundry thing.
Oh, okay. Well, this is beautiful. So this is really nice. I mean, this is what I say. It's like there are some themes out there that are really nice that people should just be using. I don't understand why you would use a theme that doesn't look nice. So
yeah.
This is a good example. Tired of dealing with low quality outsources. Get kick-ass websites created in 7 days or less. Okay, so this is basically Theme Valet. What you're doing. Almost. Oh, you're building a whole website though, like with content and everything else, right?
Yeah.
And you're targeting it at agencies?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, this all looks great. Just be super clear. Awesome name and just good idea. Just be clear what you're doing. It doesn't say, it should say there, like at the top, that's what you do. That you're working with agencies. I mean, it's effectively white label. Agencies should recognize the term white label, and I'd be probably using that term. If you don't want to use that term, it's fine, but at least say that what you're offering is to agencies above the fold and not just to everybody. Get kick-ass websites created in 7 days. I think just really drum that in. So even just like get kick-ass websites created for your clients. That's what you're doing, right? Yeah. So say that, and because this reads to me like you're dealing with the end purchaser of a website, like every bit of this copy. Tired of dealing with low quality outsources? Yes, as a business owner, I am tired of that. Get kick-ass websites created in 7 days or less. That's good. I need a kick-ass website. Start your project. Yes, we're talking about my project. So there's nothing there that makes me think that you're not talking to me as a business owner. You're actually talking to agencies. What we do, this is a good example of what Joanna was saying before, and making those she had a word for it. It wasn't headline, it was bulkhead or something work better for you. So you've got what we do. You could just say what you do in the headline in a captivating way. So, we provide world-class websites in 7 days, and this is how or something. We're sitting through hundreds of cookie cutter proposal run road. Yeah, sweet. That's good. I mean, I feel like you don't need a whole lot of copy to describe what you do because you do that how it works. This is good. Here's the details. Click the start. I'll make that text a little bit bigger. They click the start your next project, that text. But this all looks really good. So it's a really good example of how. Have you been working on this before this week, or is this just?
No. Last year, I bought the domain and I got sidetracked. So I never got to actually do it. And then I got your email at the end of December, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll relaunch this. So that's cool. The whole
reason I do stuff like this. It's really cool because it's a great name, well executed, looks really good. So I'd make that text a little bit better. Click the start your next project button anywhere on this page to give us all the details about the project. Yeah, I mean, you probably reword that a little bit because it sort of sounds like a chore for them to give you all the details, but that's okay. We get to work like mad times in the lab. We start crafting your client's site within 72 hours. We'll submit to you for review. Dave, I've met over screen share to discuss final tweaks. We get your clients shiny. Yeah, I wonder if you could position this as like you only work with certain agencies that can. I don't know. I wonder if you can like position in a way that's like this isn't actually for everyone. There's like a secret weapon of agencies who are kind of good enough to have my services without saying it like that. I thought about that,
but I couldn't really figure that part out. But I did think about that just the other day.
Yeah, but I think you can probably do it in subtle ways by, I mean, for something like this to be profitable, you you really probably don't want someone signing up and ordering one website. So I'd almost just not be even pitching that. I don't know. It's a tough one. Maybe you test both and see what results you get. Have two totally different pages, or take that stuff off the homepage and put it on a split tested sign up page where one option is, apply to be a WP Ghost customer, have a form, how many sites are you going to submit a month? Describe your clients, make sure there's some sort of qualification that goes on, and test that versus what you've got here, which is sort of like anyone can sign up. It's reasonably cheap. I think the latter might long-term be better for you. You might get clients signing up. You'll get a hell of a lot less leads, but that could be a good thing. So that you could think about testing that.
Okay.
So you've got inclusions, content image setup. Yeah, that's okay. One-time website package. That's all right. It could look a little bit better, but that's okay. Some of our work. That's good. FAQ. Can you commute? I mean, it all looks great. I think it looks really good. Say goodbye to endless stacks of proposals and flaky developers. I think that needs something at the end. Like if you're going to do the goodbye and hello thing, it needs to be like, if you're saying goodbye to that, what are you saying hello to, sort of thing. You might not need to use that word. You might not need to use the word hello, but that's like a copywriting thing. You're sort of like putting in their minds, the situation they're in, what they're feeling at the moment versus what they're going to feel after they become a customer of this epic service that they can't live without. You're doing the former, but you're not doing the latter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got. Look, I think it looks awesome. Well done.
All right. Thank you so much.
Is there any other specific questions or?
No, I mean, the biggest thing after I get the page now, trying to create content around it. Right now I'm reading your content machine book. Okay, cool. And so just the fact of creating content, like how would I structure it towards agencies? That's coming up with certain topics or what would be valuable. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, this is really tough, actually. I had this exact problem in the past because my last piece of software was targeted at agencies, and I started a podcast called Agency Talk where I interviewed agency owners. So that was one thing that I did at the time. The software ended up I discontinued it. So I stopped putting out the content for agencies, but I found them to be a very, very hard group of people to target. And the reason is because everyone else is trying to target them, because half of the people that start these sort of businesses are ex-agency people. And the first thing they think of is scratching their own itch, which is to create content for agencies, which makes them a very hard group of people to target. So I would just be testing a bunch of different things. Podcasts could be a way. We've got suggestions here to go to conferences and network. It might be about doing that because a lot of these guys are sort of in-person people. If you're targeting specifically like agencies of a certain size, then that might be the best way to do it. You could also, you can get smart around this sort of stuff if you look at doing like paid ads to people who like certain software that only agencies use. That can always be something you could look at, or you could sort of try to piggyback off audiences that have agencies in their audience. So if you think of something like HubSpot or SEO Moz, maybe not as much SEO Moz, Raven Tools, like these kind of pieces of software that are written specifically for agencies. There's invoicing software that's Quote Roller, I think, that's only for agencies. If you can somehow get content in front of their audience, but writing useful content and guest posting on their site, that kind of thing could work really well. But I do think it's a hard group of people to get in front of because there's so much competition, so much noise.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And just test a lot of stuff. Really pay attention to where your leads come from, and do more of whatever you tested that's working.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well done.
All right. Thanks. All
right. Brooklyn, I tried to get you on here before, but it didn't work.
So terrible
we'll try again.
Occasionally.
Oh, yeah. There we go. We're
Hi.
back.
Yeah.
How you going? Are you still at SeaWorld?
No, thank goodness I'm not. Everyone's too tired today, so I'm super, super glad. Now, you're not going to get on that one because I'm trying to do it from mobile because inside the house doesn't have good connection. But if you go to the Facebook page, I've got a link on there to jump in and have a look. And Big Deal SEO just popped it up there for me as well as one of the last messages down there.
Word of mouth. Okay, yep, got it.
Yep. My heart is like pounding in my chest. I get so nervous, but I desperately need feedback.
I'll try and go gentle on you then. Oh, okay. Well,
no, don't go gentle. Just
all right.
Bash it out.
So this is done in lead pages. Okay, looks quite good.
Yeah.
And can you just describe in words what it is again?
Yeah, sure. Essentially, I'm digitizing word of mouth. So instead of waiting for someone to say, I'll Google it or I'll head off to a Facebook page or wherever to opt in somewhere, at offline word of mouth referral, when people are talking face to face about the brand, you opt them in at that point from customer
I'm still
to
confused.
customer. All right. I don't know how to describe it. Okay. So instead of handing over a business card, so I'm talking to you and I've got a dentist and you've got kids and you need a dentist. We're having a good old chat. You trust my referral. Instead of me saying, oh, Google Dr. P, I give you a Pass It Global app, which the Dr. P the dentist has made, and I share that with you. And during the process of that sharing, the person who has the relationship with the dentist, is opting you in, and then you confirm the opt-in when you receive it via text message or via a campaign done through whatever email provider they have. This is why I need an email course to be able to communicate. That's why I'm doing an email course, not just doing a website.
Internet's sort of dropping in and out, so I didn't quite get all of that.
Okay.
So
okay.
Can you just describe exactly what happens when? So okay, we meet at a conference. We start talking, and you say, "I've got a good dentist to recommend." What exactly happens then?
Yeah. I open up the app on my phone that the dentist has given to me.
Yeah.
I then open it up, press the share button, enter in your name, your email, and your telephone number. You are going to receive a text message that has, hey, Dan, this is Brooklyn. Here's the link to the dentist I was telling you about. When you click on that link, you are taken to an opt-in that then opts you into the dentist marketing funnels. If you don't press the link and opt in, the dentist has a 2-day delay on the campaign that will get pushed through because I've still put your details in, and he sends you a one-time email that says, hey, Dan, I was talking to Brooklyn. She told me all about you. You're looking for some services.
Okay.
Click here to opt in. Confirm your email address.
Okay.
So it's a more natural way to give a referral.
The dentist convinces you to put an app on your phone because you like his service so much.
The dentist doesn't have to Well, what is it? Yeah, essentially the delivery methods are several. One of which would be that instead of getting an appointment card, he would say, hey, we've gone green. Download our app. This is your appointment. And because it's not actually a native app, it's a web app. So each share is a unique share and has a unique URL. And it's kind of like signing up to create an account with the dentist. Right? So then he can, using whatever, like we are integrating with Appointment Core and different things like that. So what that will happen is that inside my app, I will have my next appointment. But when I share from my app to you, it grabs a copy of the master app and gives you your own version.
Sounds like a cool idea. It just sounds like a very big idea. Yeah, and also
4 years in the making. It is a big idea.
It feels like with all of this stuff, there needs to be the least friction possible. It sounds like the way you describe it, there's quite a bit of friction. So one of the challenges on the side is going to be like, how do you describe this to people in a way that is not going to make them think like it's going to be a whole lot of work? Yeah.
Agreed. That is my huge problem. That's why I thought if I did a course that was surrounding word of mouth marketing, optimizing the sale and the delivery, then they could learn. I could do things that they went yes to. Oh, yes, that makes sense. Oh, yes, that makes sense. Then they would have more inclination to listen to me a little closer with the next part that might challenge their thinking a little bit. So I thought a 7-course module, given at their own pace, would allow me midway through to introduce the digitizing of word of mouth, which it's only difficult because it's a new concept to actually digitize word of mouth. But it's actually quite a ergonomic, natural thing to do with the love affair we have with our phones.
I don't like the word digitize at all. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if anyone talks like that.
Neither do I.
Maybe they do in this sort of market, but I don't like that word. And
what would you use to describe that process of bringing an offline referral online? Do you just say that?
I just don't think it needs. Maybe it doesn't need to be described. I don't know. I honestly, I still don't think I fully understand it, and I don't want to spend any more time on understanding it just because we don't have enough time. But I think like the if what you're doing is just getting people to share more, like it depends who you're talking to. If you're talking to the business owner, all they really need to know is they're going to get more customers, and they're going to get people referring them in the way they want to do it, which is on their phones. So people, that's how people want to share stuff these days. It's not digitizing anything really. It's just getting people to talk about you, and that's how people talk now. So I think you can figure out how to get that part of it sorted.
Cool thought.
I think digitize to me almost has the opposite effect, which it makes it feel old to me because I don't think young people use that terminology anymore. And I mean, even as someone who's not particularly young, I don't know if I ever did use that terminology. So I don't like that terminology. But having said that, it does depend on who you're talking to. And if you're talking to like dentists and really old school sort of traditional businesses, maybe they do use that sort of wording. I don't know, but
No, I'm happy to scrap it because I don't like it anyway. So I'm happy to scrap it and just find a different way to communicate that. I mean, if we just lose that off the top of the site and read down further, just on the concept of getting them to sign up for a course to understand and better
just
do
the overall concept
how does
of
that flow there?
Doing that concerns me a little bit. I mean, I know it's cool to launch something as part of this challenge, and it's good to have like a bit of content you can use. Is this the only thing you're doing to get people using this, or this is just like one of the? No, you're doing other stuff as well. You're not getting like distracted with this as like it seems like a really indirect way to sell your product. That's all. I mean, I'm a huge fan of content, but I've also fallen into the trap before where I'm like, this is too hard to sell, so I'm just going to put a course up and hope that enough people sort of see it and eventually trickles down to sales. So. Maybe that's something to talk about. I'll look specifically at the page. I mean, the page looks quite nice.
No, this isn't the only way.
Okay. Yep. So you're doing because I think this sort of stuff is probably like in person, like actually talking to businesses that's going to convince them, right?
My method was going to be I've connected in with a lot of certified partners at Infusionsoft who have their own verticals.
Yeah.
And they want to bundle
course or
this as part
app?
of their product offering.
App. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get onto the page.
No, the app.
I think there's probably two ways you can do this. One is you can pitch it as in you telling your story. If your story is really easily relatable to the person who's going to subscribe, then that can work well. And I do that a lot in my business. But if your story really has very little to do with their problems and, you know, what they're trying to fix, then that it's not going to mean much to them. So what I mean by that is, like you're sort of saying, I'm going to share my journey of building my business with this, like my own business. If that's a story that is going to be so specific to them that it's like maybe you built the same sort of business that they're building, then really tap into that. If it's not, then maybe try a different angle and make it more about them. Does that make sense? The blue is, I mean, this is probably pretty nitpicky, but the blue button is, it's very hard to read the text because it's light white text on the button. And also the blue button, you've got a very eye-catching dress on, and it's the same color as the call to action, which is that visually is not great for conversions. I mean, this is very nitpicky, but if you want better conversions, you want very, very strong visual emphasis on the button. And an age-old technique that people used to do was like put your laptop 5 meters away and go back and sort of squint and see what stands out on the page. And in this case, it's going to be the dress that stands out.
Cool. Very cool.
I mean, but it's also nice to have nice images on there and have something that looks good. So just think about that. Think about how you can get around that. Yeah.
Striking a balance.
It's also it's quite a long landing page for something like an email course. I'd think about how people, I mean, it is good to have proof on there, and you've got like testimonials. They're quite broad, and that's fine for now. If eventually you can get specific testimonials about this exact course and the problems it solved, that you're going to convert 1,000 times better than something broad. But having something is a lot better than having nothing. Centered text is not great. It's very, very difficult to read. Centered headings can be okay, but if you're going to have an overall centered theme, then I still have left-aligned text within that theme. And if you want me to show you an example of that, actually I can show you an example because my blog now, that theme does that. It's a thin centered column theme, but it's still left-aligned text because left-aligned text is way easier to read than center-aligned text, especially when you got stuff like numbered lists in there. You got a numbered list and you got like 1 and then the 2's like in here and then the 3's out here.
I hear what you're saying.
The only other thing I'd say here is, so with landing pages like this, quite often they'll convert better with actually a whole lot less on the page, depending on how people are getting there. So you might find it converts better just with the stuff up the top. And again, it depends on how they're getting there. So like in my case, I would do, like if I'm driving traffic direct, like Nathan talked about, having an Instagram post with a picture of an ebook, driving to foundermag.com/free. When people go there, they know exactly what they're getting. It's described on Instagram what they're getting. When they go there, all he needs is a very small landing page with not much information on it. I've got an example where that didn't work. Here's an example of one of mine, which is really just got what it is, an image and one testimonial, and that's it. If it's more like a homepage and you're getting people going there, they're not exactly sure what they're getting, that's when you need a lot more data on there. It's not a big sell to get someone's email address. Like all you're asking is an email address for a course. You're giving something away for free. You don't need pages and pages to convince people that they should opt into something like that. Also, if you do have the technical skills and the know-how to put this on your own domain, which you can do with lead pages, and put your own like fav icon and stuff up the top.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's.
What's that?
Yeah, that's 3 o'clock in the morning for you, though.
Right. Yeah.
That's 3 o'clock in the morning for you.
It's not a big thing, but I think like
3 o'clock this morning.
If you do get to the point where this is working, you want to tighten it up a little bit. I do like the idea of having it on your domain with your own fav icon on there and just having it all seamless, especially if it's people going from your content to this landing page. So that's something you could think about as well. But yeah, it looks good. And a few things to fix up if you get time.
Yeah.
All right. Does that help?
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right.
Enormously.
Thanks, Brooklyn. See ya.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to leave it there. That's 3 hours and 10 minutes, and I need to go to the toilet. So that'll have to do. You want more websites reviewed, chuck them in the Facebook group, and I'll do them in my own time, but don't let that slow you down from stuff you're working on. I mean, all of these things are like everyone's doing a great job, and you can always improve these things. I've picked up things on today's call that I can improve on the WP Curve site, which we spent over $10,000 on. So just a case of keeping improving, but don't let that slow you down. Slow you down. I've been on here too long. I'll see you guys in the Facebook group. Have a good day. And if you want me to do any more reviews, put them in Facebook, get on with your other stuff, and then I'll try and get to them later on. Right. What's the Facebook group? Sorry, I always keep forgetting because this call is part of the 7-Day Startup Challenge. If you go to 7daystartup.com, you'll see all the other calls that are part of this challenge. And I always forget to mention that because the people are coming on here just from Blab. But yeah, go 7daystartup.com. All the information's on there. Sign up for the emails, and you'll get an email with all the links. And the Facebook group is where everything happens when we're not on Blab. All right. Thanks, guys.